Thanks, Chair. How different is the husband's situation from what you have charged General Khumalo on?
So the difference there, Chair, is one, I was not in charge of the process. I was part of the panel. It was chaired by somebody else. I did not shortlist him, nor did I sit in his interview. I still accept that in hindsight, I should and could have recused myself completely. But we did not bypass any process. The allegations as set out in the charge sheet are completely different with regards to the Khumalo matter. But what I will concede is it doesn't look right, and that I can't take away.
Is Idac part of the institutions that are aiding criminal cartels in this country, especially its head, Advocate Andre Johnson? She recently appeared in the Parliament's ad hoc committee, which is investigating the damning allegations that were made by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, on the 6th of July. And we know that subsequent to that, Cyril Ramaphosa went on to suspend the police minister, Senzo Mchunu, who's part of the people who are accused. And the evidence that has been led so far, he really appears to be one of the people who are at the center of aiding criminal cartels in this country. So Idac is a directorate against corruption. Okay? So she appeared this week in the Parliament's ad hoc committee, which is doing the similar work that is being done by the Madlanga Commission. But the Madlanga Commission was established by the executive being the president of the country. Because you know in South Africa, we've got three arms of the state. We've got the judiciary, we've got the executive, and we've got the legislature. So the Madlanga Commission was established by the executive to probe these allegations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Then the Parliament's ad hoc committee is doing a similar work, but it was established by another arm of the state, which is what the legislature, the National Assembly. Okay. So now let's get to this Idac and understand. Because Idac has been fingered as part of the institutions alongside the hawks who have been protecting these well-connected criminal syndicates, criminal cartels. And when this Idac head appeared in Parliament, she did not inspire much confidence. If anything, she confirmed Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's allegations that Idac has been captured by criminals, because Idac is now being used to fight against the likes of crime intelligence head Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo. They've even arrested Khumalo on some flimsy corruption charges that he was part of a panel that recommended someone that they deemed that it was an irregular appointment. That does not amount to corruption, arresting a person for that. Clearly the intention here is to obstruct the wheels of justice and investigation to ensure that Khumalo and his team, because Khumalo, remember, he heads the political King's tax team, then it's also the crime intelligence head. So surely he must be someone that's mostly feared within the SAPS. So to prevent him and his team from doing their work, then Idac had to be used for that purpose. So the Idac, just to give you the understanding what is Idac. Idac is the investigating directorate against corruption. The irony is that the very same institution it is engaged in corruption itself. And of course, people like Julius Malema are very excited by the work of the Idac, because Idac is doing all it can do to protect the likes of Shadrach Sibiya, who the testimony in the Badlanga Commission has linked the likes of Julius Malema to be friends with the likes of Shadrach Sibiya. So we should not be surprised when Julius Malema praises Idac and praises this Advocate Johnson to an extent of even likening her to Mama Winnie Mandela. And surely Mama Winnie Mandela, where she is she must be turning in her grave. But that's Julius Malema for you. He's a flip-flopper. And also he understands the interest now. Say he has to do whatever it can to protect his interests, because it has become clear that Sibiya's interests are Julius Malema's interests. So what is the purpose of this? The purpose and mandate of Idac? Their purpose and mandate is to combat serious, high-profile or complex corruption and associated commercial or financial crimes within South Africa. This includes conducting prosecution-led investigations and instituting criminal proceedings, handling cases including those arising from commissions of inquiry like the Zondo Commission, the so-called State Capture Commission. Another purpose and mandate, operating as a permanent, independent, entity with its own dedicated investigators who have full criminal investigation powers. The establishment, Idac was formally established as a permanent statutory body within the National Prosecuting Authority, the NPA, which on its own, that NPA is in shambles on its own. When the National Prosecuting Authority Amendment Act of 2024 came into effect on the 19th of August 2024, predecessor, it replaces the Temporary Investigating Directorate, ID, which was first established by a presidential proclamation in March 2019 to address complex corruption, including cases arising from this so-called state capture inquiry. But what we see this thing is doing now, the Idac, it itself has now become involved in aiding the very same criminals that it's supposed to put behind the bars. That's how powerful these cartels and syndicates are, that they've managed to capture. If there's any state capture we wanted to be talking about, this is what we call the state capture. The capturing of the institutions that are supposed to combat crime in this country. Thank you guys for tuning in.